This is Brother Jamal. I'm bringing you another video. Um, this is Monday evening, July the 13th, 2020. This first segment I want to bring to you is just about safety. I had a sister to ask me to do something in regards to safety as it relates to black people and all the things that are occurring and all the things that are going on. So inshallah, that's what I want to do in the first part. I want to say, first and foremost, safety-wise, that if you don't have to travel and be out at nighttime, inshallah, it's a good idea. I mean, if you're going to be out at nighttime, you need to let someone know where you're going, let people kind of know where you're going to be, and maybe phone number, you call somebody, maybe they call and check on you. That's extremely important. Otherwise, if you don't have to be out at night, it's really not best to be out roaming around. I know people may say, well, I have a right to go and be out and do what I want to do. Yes, you do. In the day and the time that we're living in now, because of the climate, there's so much hatred, so many black people getting attacked, getting assaulted, so many hate crimes being committed directly towards black people. We ought to be not so naive. We should not let our guard down, and we should be conscious of our surroundings wherever we're at. We should be conscious. Sometimes the biggest mistake that we can make, and we have made, is letting our guards down and being so comfortable that we just take this attitude, we can kind of go and do what? No, we're not living in that particular time. This is a different time period that we're living in, which calls for us to be smart and wise. If you're traveling to something, try to travel during the daylight hours. Get down the highway or get down the road and go as far as you can go. Once it gets night, get a motel or something and try to rest. Don't wait till 10, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and go to traveling. I know some people would do that, and you endanger yourself and whoever may be with you, or family, kids, whatever. You endanger people because you don't know. And stopping at a rest stop, do not stop at a rest stop, go use the restroom, leave your kids in the car, sleep. Don't do that. Somebody should be awake if you're going to leave the kids in the car. And you really, if it's not another adult with you, you really shouldn't be leaving them in the car like that by themselves, sleep, saying you're going to run to the bathroom and come back. Rest stop, truck stop, any of those places, you ought to be thinking safety. That's what you should be thinking. Once again, these are just some little tips of being conscious of your surroundings. There's a hadith on it, talks about that in after Maghrib prayer, which is the sunset. Once the sun goes down and it gets dark outside, that's the time that Satan, the devil, that's his time, because he likes to go around in the nighttime. The wickedness, the night, that's his time. And so it says about having the kids inside the house, making sure that your doors and windows and all that stuff is locked, because when Satan gets out and go to roaming around, I'm talking about the devil, when he goes and roaming around, he goes after anyone, anything that he can vow up, because that's his time. The dark represents the devil. The dark represents evil. It represents wickedness. That's what that represents. And so we have to be conscious of these kind of things. See, it's once again, we're living in a day and time. It doesn't make any difference what age you are. We're living in a time and a day and age where you have to be smart and wise, not be a fool, not do foolish stuff, not place yourself in a situation where you can get hurt. But we're living in a day and time where it calls on us to be smart, intelligent, and wise. That's what it calls upon us to do. So I pray that we can take heed of this. And this is no joke, because we're living in a serious time. This is not like any other regular time. This is a serious time. One, we have the virus going on. And two, we have an all-out assault on black people. These white supremacist groups have infiltrated into the police department where they can murder off black people under the disguise of a badge, of a blue uniform. They have infiltrated into these police departments. This takes us into our next subject, establishing truth. If we are to establish truth, and in this day and time that we're living in, then that means that falsehood, that means wickedness, that means the evildoers, the wrongdoers have to be done away with. They have to get rid of them. We have to uproot wickedness. We have to uproot falsehood. We have to uproot the evildoers. Because if you're going to establish truth, you can't mix truth in with falsehood. They can't occupy the same place at the same time. You have to do away with falsehood and establish truth. That's how you begin to move forward. Falsehood and truth does not mix together. You can't put them in the same pot. See, I was saying that the George Floyd murder, it really put America on Front Street, because America has been feeling this way all along about black people. I don't know why. We should not be shocked. We should not be surprised. This is the way America has been feeling all the time. And so this movement against social injustice, this movement against social injustice, this movement against oppression, this movement against institutionalized racism, all those three things are what we're dealing with. And this movement is bigger than one individual. It's bigger than an organization. This is a movement that is a carryover from the 60s, because all this time these people have had this hatred and dislike and contentment towards black people. This movement and the murder of George Floyd and the continuation of our people being murdered brought all this to the surface. So America is really showing its true color and how it really feels about black people. They have always viewed us as not being human. And if you view someone as not being human, then you treat them in the most disgusting, degrading way. And that's what we see happening in America today. Black people, this is how we have to look at this. And we have to realize this is an all-out assault, an all-out attack on black people, black men, black women, black kids, black boys, black girls, black babies. This is an all-out attack. Uncles, aunties, you name it. Because you have seen attacks and assaults upon all kind of black people. You've seen that happen and continue to go on as we speak. They'll continue to murder our people. As I said, the white supremacist groups have infiltrated into these police departments, and now they're wearing a badge and murdering our people under the disguise of law and order. They're murdering our people. How do you expect in your right, sane mind to be in a justice and there's no peace? I mean, how can you expect it? How can you expect it to be in a peace and there's no justice? Why would you expect it to be? It shouldn't be. We should continue to tear things up, because until we uproot this wickedness that's in this system, these police departments are corrupt. And the police union, all they do is set up a buffer to protect the corrupt cops. That's all they do. They don't do nothing else. They set up a buffer to protect the corrupt cops, these police unions. That's all they do. See? And if you're one of those people who believe in police reform, then you must be kidding yourself. You must be playing with yourself, because 1980, they was talking about a police reform. 1990, they was talking about a police reform. Here we are in 2020, still the same thing. A police reform is not going to cure wickedness. It's not going to cure falsehood. It's not going to cure the injustice that's at the root of the foundation of this system. It's not a police reform, not going to cure that. And if we think somehow it is, well, we think it in another time zone and another planet. Once again, this is Brother Jamal. I wanted to bring you this video, and this is entitled establish truth. In order to establish truth, the question is, we have to be about the business of uprooting wickedness and falsehood. In order to establish truth, we have to uproot wickedness, falsehood, evil doing, and this system, at the foundation of this system, is nothing but wickedness, falsehood, and evil doers. That's all that's there. And so we have to destroy, we have to uproot that. By any means necessary, we have to uproot that. Once again, you've been listening to Brother Jamal. We pray that you'll be able to benefit and get something out of this video.